to discuss Iran war situation, and we are analyzing the social media footages and reports which can be unverified at times purely from documentary and educational point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. Now the news is that Foreign Minister Araghchi says that productive talks which Trump has announced are not happening, and these are not talks. There is currently no negotiation between US and Iran, and the exchange of messages is just the exchange of messages and not negotiations. So, Foreign Minister Araghchi has said that we do have the exchange of messages, but we are not into negotiation with US. This was his statement, and earlier on, President Trump has already said that strong negotiations are going on between US and Iran, to which uh, Foreign Minister Raghchi has said that no negotiations are taking place between Iran and US. He denies any sort of negotiations, but yes, do says that yes, some exchange of messages did happen, but no negotiations are happening. This was a statement from Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran. Iranian army claims that they targeted Ben Gurion airport and UAE interception sites. This is a kind of big news from Anadolu Agency. Source is Anadolu Agency, and the Anadolu Agency says that the US has roughly lost $4.83 billion worth of military assets in just the first month of the Iran war. And that includes AWACS plane, E-3 Sanitary AWACS plane, F-15, 3 F-15s, F-35, KC-135 tankers, Strato-tankers, Reaper drones, and over $2 billion in tech radar, especially a big hit in Qatar, one where Iranian drone took out $1.1 billion early warning radar system deployed by US in Qatar. So we are telling you these figures that source Anadolu Agency that US has roughly lost 4.83 billion dollars worth of military assets in just the first month of the Iran war. The military assets that US lost, the details are that E-3 Sanitary AWACS plane, 3 F-15s, F-35, F-18, KC-135 Strato-tankers, Reaper drones, and over 2 billion in high-tech radars. So the most big hit at the start of the war, where a $20 Shahed drone took out a US early warning radar system worth of $1 billion, but that was deployed in Qatar. So the total loss in terms of military assets is near to $5 billion. The war has entered in its now is 34th day. The war has entered in its 34th day. In some countries it would be 33rd day, and in some countries it's 34th day of the war now. And since the war has begun, US has already nearly spent $35 billion in this war. US has already spent $35 billion in this war. Let's talk about some updates now which we have in this war. The updates of this war as of today. As of today, the conflict has reached a critical turning point where military strikes continues The focus has shifted towards a high-stake diplomatic countdown and a direct threat to the global economy. And this is when a drone slams into a UK oil facility in Iraq, causing major explosion. Courtesy Al Jazeera News. Courtesy Al Jazeera News that Courtesy Al Jazeera News that a drone struck at UK's owned oil facility in Iraq. This is courtesy Al Jazeera News. The drone strike, Iranian drone struck UK's oil facility in Iraq. UK's oil facility in Iraq as of today. This is the latest news as of today that UK's oil facility, UK owned oil facility in Iraq has been struck. UK's owned oil facility in Iraq has been struck, courtesy Al Jazeera News, and this is latest today. Beginning with some of the most important news as of today. The first news is that the expiration of IRGC's deadline, regarding which I have also created a poll. Do also vote in the poll. IRGC last night threatened 18 US tech firms, including Google, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, that IRGC would be targeting these firms because IRGC claims these firms are digital combatants providing intelligence for destinations of Iranian leaders. This was a threat by IRGC to US tech firms, and that Google, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, their offices would be targeted by IRGC. This was their warning, and this was their threat, and the deadline of which has expired. The security levels at regional offices in Dubai, Riyadh, and Doha are at all-time high. And many firms have reportedly moved to remote-only operations in the Gulf. And this is a shift to unrestricted warfare. If Iran follows through with physical or cyber sabotages against these companies, it could trigger a global financial panic, as these firms are the backbone of the region's digital economy. So we are sharing you this news that the visuals which you are showing is a drone, an Iranian drone slams into the UK-owned oil facility in Iraq. This is the latest today, and let me read your comments now. First comment says that they'll try to cyber attack if it will work a bit, but not as well as they wish. And as we speak, we are at point of either we destroy everything and leave, or they negotiate. Yes, I agree with you that if cyber attacks or physical attacks do happen at these tech giants companies, it would escalate the war to a new level, and this is basically an unrestricted warfare. Certainly, Israel and US will be bombing again the oil facilities and the gas facilities of Iran. Two comments again, and just say yes, hi, please do take part in the poll. Now, some more analysis. This is the video which I am showing you is courtesy Al Jazeera News. Iranian drone strikes at UK oil facility in Iraq. My first news today was that the IRGC has said that IRGC yesterday threatened 18 US tech firms, including Google, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, and that these are legitimate targets by IRGC, because IRGC claims these firms are digital combatants providing intelligence US and Israel for the of Iranian leaders. Security levels at regional offices in Dubai, Riyadh, and Doha are at all-time high, and many firms have reportedly moved to remote-only operations in the Gulf to protect their staff. And this is a shift to unrestricted warfare. If Iran follows through with physical or cyber sabotages against these companies, it could trigger a global financial panic. A global financial panic. I repeat, a global financial panic. Firms are the backbone of the region's digital economy. So please do take part in the poll and do tell me that whether uh, whether IRGC would attack these tech companies or not. The attack can be the by drones and missiles, and the attack can also be by cyber attacks. So, do you people see these attacks coming onto these US tech companies or not? Let's move to some more news. And one of the comments is that these people are dead serious. Yes, looks like the IRGC is serious, and they will possibly do a cyber attack on these tech companies. And the cyber attacks which Iranians would do on these US tech companies, according to what I think is, would be most likely backed by Russia and China, and they would be helping Iran to do a cyber attack on tech companies of US. So that would be interesting if there comes a cyber attack on these US tech companies. Netanyahu is wanted for war crimes of genocide. Yes, the case of genocide is against Israel and the International Criminal Court. And let's move towards more news. And Donald Trump has predicted that would end in 2 to 3 weeks. President Trump has predicted that the war against Iran would end in 2 to 3 weeks, and he says that he claimed that the new Iranian regime's president has reached out for a ceasefire. President Trump has said that Iran is reaching for a ceasefire. President Trump has said that Iran is asking for a ceasefire, to which Foreign Minister of Iran replied that no, we are not negotiating with the US. An exchange of 1 to 2 messages doesn't mean we are negotiating, and we are not surrendering. Iranian Foreign Ministry called these claims from President Trump as false and baseless. My analysis is that Trump is likely using psychological operations to create divisions within Iran, suggesting the leadership is weak or ready to quit, even if no formal deal exists. So, what I think is that by Trump saying that new leadership is hinting for a ceasefire, Trump is basically using it as a psychological warfare tool to create a division between Iranian people and Iranian armies and leadership and IRGC. That's why Trump is using it as a psychological warfare, and there looks no truth that the new regime wants to surrender to US. So this is basically a psychological warfare. And there is another important news today, and the next important news is that despite US claims of the war ending, the Axis of Resistance launched a massive coordinated attacks today. The Axis of Resistance, by the Axis of Resistance, I mean the Houthis and Hezbollah and IRGC and PMF in Iraq. These have conducted a joint attack on sensitive targets in Israel. The coordinated efforts attack towards Israel. These joint Houthi Hezbollah Iranian attack with coordinated efforts and coordinated attacks on Israel. And the Houthis in Yemen and Hezbollah in Lebanon and the IRGC, basically Iran, claimed a joint third military operation against sensitive targets in Israel. The barrage of ballistic missiles triggered sirens across central Israel, while the IDF reports most were intercepted. Some images and news from Tel Aviv show missile debris making impact. No fatalities were reported in Israel, but the scale of the triple front attack proves that the axis remains operationally linked. So this is a major news, and the news is that a barrage of ballistic missiles were fired towards Israel from three different regions: Yemen by Houthis, from Lebanon by Hezbollah, and from Iran by IRGC towards Israel. While Israel says that they have intercepted most of these missiles, but news is that few of them did manage to make impact. And these attacks, triple front attacks by Iran and the axis of resistance, prove that the axis remains operationally linked. The axis has remained operationally linked. And there is news that Kuwait airport strike, and the visuals which we are showing is basically UK owned oil facility in Iraq has been hit by Iranian drone. Iranian drone hits a UK owned oil facility. And with that, we move to next. The next news is that the war's collateral damage to neutral neighbors is worsening, and Iranian drone strike hits fuel tanks at Kuwait International Airport. Iranian drone strikes hit fuel tanks at Kuwait International Airport. While there were no casualties, massive fire disrupting the regional travel. The comment from Big Sahab 91973: the war will be over in 2 days. I don't think so. The war is over in 2 days. Iran is saying that we are not negotiating with US, and US is saying that even US president is saying that the war would over in 2 to 3 weeks. And also the President Trump has given deadline to the to Iran, that if a ceasefire doesn't happen by 6th of April, and in 6th of April 4 days are still left, and then US will be bombing oil facilities and gas facilities and the powerhouses and the nuclear facilities of Iran. Iran has also warned that they would be hitting 18 US tech companies, including Google, Apple, and Meta. And with that, we move to that an Iranian drone strike hits fuel tanks at Kuwait International Airport yesterday. While there were no casualties, a massive fire disrupted regional travel, and oil prices, with the Strait of Hormuz still closed. The war is in its 33rd day, or 34th in some countries. Oil has hit $118 per barrel. Oil has hit $118 per barrel. Pakistan and other regional countries are now feeling the oil shock, with the government in Islamabad reportedly considering new measures to manage petrol subsidies as global stocks dwindle. United Kingdom is hosting a virtual meeting of 35 countries today. The United Kingdom is hosting a virtual meeting of 35 countries today, specifically to discuss forcibly reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The United Kingdom is hosting a virtual meeting of 35 different countries today to discuss forcible reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. To discuss the forcible reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, United Kingdom is hosting a virtual meeting of 35 countries to discuss forcible reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The meeting follows reports that UAE is also preparing to assist the US in clearing operation of the Strait of Hormuz. The alternative is that Pakistan and China has laid out 5-point peace plans, and it is the only diplomatic off-ramp on the table. Analysts are calling it pivotal, but warn that its success depends entirely on whether the US and Iran are willing to stop the maximum pressure tactics before the April 6th deadline. So, analysts US for these talks to negotiation talks to be meaningful, Iran and US should be stopping their maximum pressure tactics against each other, and this is the only way possible for de-escalation and for successful talks to happen. Otherwise, this war will escalate and keep on escalating to new levels. Let me read some comments. Which news platform is not propagating propaganda lies about realities on the ground? Which news platform is not propagating propaganda and lies about realities on ground? And the best answer for this is that you should be listening. Uh, Check social media. The most authentic is Twitter, and with the UC, go to check the news from Iran as well. Type in Iran, search the news from there. Type in US and type in Israel, search the news from there. You will get an idea that what's happening on the ground. Do listen to neutral analysts, and do also listen to YouTube neutral analyst where in on YouTube videos as well. So then you will be having what's happening right now in Iran. How can Iran attack innocent civilian people? The answer to this question is I answered this question. This is too an innocent question. The war started, and Israel and US have completely decapitated the leadership of Iran and killing, assassinating Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and also assassinating Ali Larijani, who was the second in command, also assassinating the family of Ali Khamenei and Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and also killing top leadership of IRGC. They have been killing the top leadership of IRGC even before the war began. Iran points out that their president, the late president, was killed in a helicopter crash, was also done by Israel. And let me complete, and I will tell you that what is the reason to target innocent people. I am not advocating that Iran is right in targeting innocent people. Neither side is right when it comes to targeting innocent people. I am not saying this, that if any side is right in targeting innocent people. And let me complete my you have the right to disagree with me, but please do listen and let me complete my reason and which I am giving you. Yes, innocent people shouldn't be targeted. That includes people who are old, people who are children, and people who are in hospital, who are doing rescue works, and also people who are children in schools. They shouldn't be bombed. But who did start? There was no war even when Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, the scientist of Iran, was assassinated, and there was no war when Iranian president was assassinated. There was no war when Qasem Soleimani was assassinated, and there was no war when Hezbollah chief was assassinated in when he was having his meeting. There was no war when Hamas chief in Iran was assassinated. So these are five big assassinations. There was no war going on when these were assassinated, and also when the war started, Israel and US decapitated the military leadership of Iran, the civilian leadership of Iran, the Ayatollah and his family as well. And not forget the school bombing in Minhab, where 170 children died. They were martyred basically. 170 children aged 7 to 12, innocent children. They were martyred not by one airstrike but by two airstrikes. There and then, within minutes, two airstrikes. So there were the innocent children. When this happens, so I'm not advocating that innocent people should be targeted. By innocent, I mean children and the elderly people. Also, the rescue workers, the press, and hospitals, and they shouldn't be bombed. Schools shouldn't be bombed. So there should be kind of ethical and moral code. So this shouldn't be happening. But I was answering you that this isn't from one side. And let's not forget. How did I forget that the innocent people of Gaza? The innocent people of Gaza are still being bombed, and they have been being bombed since 1948 on daily basis. They have been being bombed. Their generations have been taken out, and we all know that what Gaza has, nothing. There's no keep Hamas just for a side, just for a couple of minutes. I know you will say Hamas is fighting in that, but let's keep it aside just for a couple of minutes. What Gaza has, nothing. They don't have drinking water. They don't have food facilities. They don't have medical facilities. They don't have even slings to fight. They only just throw stones with their hands. They are fighting like this. And the people who are just fight with stones, and they are constantly being bombed for many years. Hamas is kind of new entity. Hamas is not an older entity. Hamas is kind of new, but these Palestinians and people of Gaza are being bombed since 1948. Hamas is very new. So how can you justify that? That's literally genocide taking place in Gaza. And even now, when you don't see Hamas being so much active, because Hamas has been kind of neutralized by Israel, and still Gaza is being bombed. Still, even with the board of peace, Trump's board of peace, and with the ceasefire intact, because when the board of peace started, Trump's board of peace started, that was when Trump board of peace started. When Trump's board of peace started, there was supposed to be a ceasefire. There was supposed to be a ceasefire in Gaza, but there is no ceasefire in Gaza. We are back. We are back with the live streaming, and sorry from my side There was a technical glitch. Apologies from my side. There was a technical error and a glitch due to which the live streaming went off here. We are back with the live streaming, and we follow the YouTube community guidelines, and we are showing you the social media footages which can be unverified at times, and we analyze these footages and reports purely from educational and documentary point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. There was a technical glitch and error due to which this live streaming went off here, and we are back, and apologies from my side. The live streaming has been restored, and do please take part in the poll and which I have created. And up till now we can see that we have 138 votes. Will Iran attack US tech company? And is over. 66% people have says yes, and 34% of people say no. And there was a comment from ABZ SYIBD, and was the name of the account. And the comment is very interesting, that Chinese government and tech giants now have an opportunity to help Iran and gain a greater market share in the tech war. Yes, I do feel that with the IRGC has the threat of IRGC, the deadline is over, and IRGC would be considering how to attack these tech giants, 18 tech giants, including Google, Apple, Meta, and Tesla, Microsoft as well. And Iran would not be physically attacking with drones and missiles in their offices. I do believe that the attack would be a cyber attack, and it most probably China and Russia will be helping Iran in carrying out this cyber attack, because China would, I agree with you, will get this opportunity to help Iran and gain a greater market share in the tech war. So this is gonna happen. And do you want the current government to comment from Brent Walker, that do you want the current government to stay in power or a government where you have more freedom? Who am I to decide that? Firstly, I'm not an Iranian, and secondly, who am I to decide that which government is suitable for the people of Iran? I am not Iranian. How can I decide that this government would be good for the people of Iran and that government wouldn't be good for the people of Iran? It's for the Iranians to decide what form of the government they want. And if they are not happy with the current regime, they should struggle, and they should protest, and they should oust this regime by themselves. And if they are favorable, they do want this same regime, then it's for them. And if they are happy with this, who are we to decide that which government I want? And moreover, I see where this question is coming from. Moreover, tell me any country to which US has restored democracy and by bombing, and the condition of the country has got better than what was it before bombing and before regime change. Tell me any one country. You can't even name one country that when US invaded and tried to do a regime change, the condition got better. None. Because you can see what happened in Afghanistan, the Taliban's are back. You can see in Iraq there are groups fighting each other in a civil war kind of situation. Same with the Syria. Same happened in Syria. And Libya is a classic example as well. You took out Gaddafi, and US took out Gaddafi, and in Gaddafi's time, still, yes, I'm not advocating Gaddafi as a very virtuous and rightful ruler, but yes, the country was running and people were having food, and country was running. Yes, the system did had flaws, and there was, yes, I'm not advocating Gaddafi as a very rightful and virtuous ruler, but it's kind of that, yes, there were flaws, but the system was running and the country was in good condition. There was good situation, and after Gaddafi, you see there ceasefire, civil war going on groups fighting each other. So I would see if same would be happening in Iran as well. And next question is that I am surprised that Iran hasn't taken over Iron Dome and used to save money on missiles. I am from the USA. We don't support our current government. Yes, many of USA people are saying this, and 8 million were in the King's March at 300 different locations, were protesting against the policies of this current government. I'm from America. We support Donald Trump. Yes, there are people who from America who support Donald Trump, but the kind of support which Donald Trump is having from Americans in this war is very low, because when Iraq war and Afghanistan war started, Americans did support their presidents, the then presidents, and were behind their military. But Americans now, in great numbers, are not behind their government now in the war against Iran. And to your question, I am returning. The question from I am surprised, Eternal Love. I am surprised that Iran hasn't taken over the Iron Dome and used it to save money on missiles. The reason and the answer to this question is that Iran had been using soak sponge strategy, and Iran has been using soak sponge strategy. Iran wants that the intercepted missiles of US and Israel should get low and should get depleted. This is what Iran is trying to do. So Iran has been firing constantly the missiles towards US bases in the Gulf and Israel. And there are reports that Iran, firstly to tell you that it just takes out short-range missiles and rockets coming from short range and rockets. So the stockpiles of these Iron Dome interceptor missiles are high. The long-range ballistic missiles are intercepted by the David Sling and the Arrow 3. Arrow 3 has been constantly intercepting the incoming Iranian ballistic missiles, which are long-range missiles. So the stockpiles of Arrow 3 are low. Israel has low stockpiles, and stockpiles need years to manufacture. Can take up a year to manufacture. So the stockpiles are running low on Arrow 3. So what Israel is now doing here, Israel is now intercepting incoming missiles of ballistic missiles of long range by David Sling. But David Sling is more of to intercept medium range missiles. So when to save the Arrow 3 interceptors, Israel shifted and starting to intercept with medium range David Sling, which is used for medium range missiles interception. So what's this happening is that when you see there are some hits and escapes from air defenses, especially one hit in Dimona, this was because not Arrow 3 was being used, David Sling was being used. So interceptors in their own interceptor, they are low, but yes, because they are short range, Iron Dome has to intercept short range missiles and rockets. Israel has much stockpile left, and the US is also running low on stockpiles. The evidence for this is that US requested Poland yesterday to provide them interceptors in the Middle East, and Poland flatly refused that. They are not going to provide their Patriot batteries and interceptors to US. So it is kind of a worry and concern for US and Israel that they are now getting low on interceptors, and yes, on Iranian missile launcher sites and the factories and are also being targeted. Iran is also the Iranian resources of missiles are also getting low and the Iranian resources of these missiles are getting low. So there is kind of both things going on simultaneously. I'm not gonna really know other sports. The sport since I'm from. Please do take part in the poll, and the poll is The 192 votes up till now, 193. Will Iran attack US tech companies? That deadline is over. 64% of the people think yes, and 36% of the people say no. No attack would be on tech companies. 36% of the people think this way. And let's give you the summary of today's news, the news which we have for you today. And that summary is that uh, Iran threatened that Iran would be attacking now the U.S. tech giants, and U.S. tech giants would be attacked. And now, this was the first news. Second news was that Trump said that possibly using a psychological warfare tactic here, Iran is requesting for a ceasefire, and his Iranian regime is ready to surrender, and which Foreign Minister Rakchi says that no negotiations are taking place and will not surrender. The Strait of Hormuz is closed since 34th day of the war, and oil has hit $118 per barrel. And UK and US are discussing the meeting with the 35 more countries, and are discussing options for forceful opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And there is joint coordinated strikes from Yemen, Lebanon, and Iran. Joint coordinated strikes from Houthi Yemenis and Hezbollah, Lebanon, and Iran IRGC joint strikes. And it proves that Iranian proxies are still functional, and the peace plan is still pending. And Pakistan or China are pushing for a ceasefire before 6th of April, and the plan is still pending. And these were the summary of the news from today. The summary of today's news were these. Let me take some more comment. What would you like to see happen now, being you are there living in Iran? What outcome would you like to happen for you? Brent Walker, I am not an Iranian, and I am not in Iran. I am not an Iranian. Let me clarify it again. I already clarified it earlier. I think you didn't listen. And I am not an Iranian, and I am not in Iran. I am just analyzing the visuals and providing my analysis. And I am saying that it's for the Iranians to decide which government they want. And if they are happy with the IRGC and Islamic regime, they should if they are happy, and who are we to do the regime change? And if they are not happy and with this regime, it's their struggle, and they should fight, and they should protest, and they should change their government by protests. And all the West can do is they should provide them with internet facilities to show the protest, provide them with media coverage, and provide them with the diplomatic pressures from different countries. This is what they could do, and not else. And moreover, why let's analyze that why Iranians are not happy with the Islamic regime, and why were they protesting. The main part of the protest was the main portion, the main reason behind the protest, Iranians protesting against the Iranian regime, was that due to the inflation, and due to less job opportunities, and due to the increased prices. That was the main part, and that was why they were protesting. And why was there inflation, and why was there the increased prices of the products and commodities? That was because there was sanctions by many countries on Iran. There was sanctions by many countries on Iran, and the West and many other countries who sanctioned Iran and who were not ready to trade with Iran, they pushed Iran, and it's because of those countries there was no economic activity in Iran going on, no trade going on with Iran. And even those countries who tried to do trade with Iran, they were threatened that they would be sanctioned too. And because of that, there was inflation in Iran and increased prices of products in Iran, which led to the protests against this Iranian regime. So this was basically the reason. that why were the protests going on. Would you like to see happen trust in that's right, telecom. That's what America says about you. And Brent says, okay, thank you. Let's move towards more news, and we'll show you some more footages and visuals. These were allegedly the visuals when Isfahan was targeted. Central Israel hit by one of the Iran's largest barrage of missiles in weeks. Courtesy Al Jazeera. These are the visuals which we are showing you, courtesy Al Jazeera, that central Israel has been hit by Iranian missile barrages, in which 14 people were injured and several buildings were damaged. This is what I was talking about, the coordinated attacks, which I told you earlier that there was coordinated attacks by Hezbollah, Houthis and IRGC towards Israel, and they were coordinated attacks which showed that the axis of resistance is fully functional and they are being they are in coordination with each other. And so as a result, we saw the attacks and missiles being launched from 3 different regions, from Lebanon, from Yemen and from Iran. There was these Iran missile barrages towards Israel, and as a result 14 people got injured and across several Israeli cities, and there was damage reported as well. These are visuals courtesy Al Jazeera News. Please do share these visuals and do share this video and like this video, and also subscribe to the channel. We request you to subscribe the channel. We request you to subscribe our channel as well. Let's move towards more news, and we'll now be discussing some more news. And the situation in Iran is complex, and their facilities are being targeted, and there are targets. Iranian airports and Iranian missile facilities and Iranian nuclear plants are being targeted by Israel and US. And I see here that I guess the video has paused. Do please confirm that if the video has paused or if the live streaming is going on still. Please do comment that whether the live streaming is still going on or it has paused. I was telling you that President Trump said that Iranian new regime is saying that they are ready to surrender. There was news that President Trump said that the new regime wants to surrender, and we are getting messages from new regime that they are ready to surrender. This is basically the psyops and psychological operation by Trump and US in order to demoralize Iranian soldiers and to encourage internal dissent. And Foreign Minister Arakchi says that we are not surrendering and we are not negotiating as well. Let's analyze that. There were reports that heated words were being exchanged between Netanyahu and J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance said that intel was not accurate, and your intel was that we would be able to do regime change within weeks, and that hasn't proved to be accurate, and there's no regime change up till now in Iran. And so there was some talks and some heated argument between JD Vance and Netanyahu, and JD Vance said that the intel which you provided us of regarding that the regime change will be successful within weeks proved out to be a false one. And another difference between Israel and US is over this topic is that the goal of Israel is basically regime change, and Netanyahu's government believes that as long as IRGC exists, Israel is not safe, and he's pushing for the US to commit to a ground operation or seizure of Kurg Island to force the regime to collapse completely. So this is what Israel is thinking. Israel wants regime change in Iran, and Israel is pushing US to commit to a ground operation or to seize Kurg Island to force the regime to collapse completely. And whereas what is the view of US is the goal of US is regime crippling. And I will tell you what's the difference between regime crippling and regime change. US wants regime crippling. Trump's team, led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, wants to destroy Iran's capability of nuclear sites and missiles. So US wants Iranian nuclear sites and missiles to be destroyed, but avoid a total power vacuum that leads to a Syrian-style civil war. So Trump wants this is why Trump. So basically, let me summarize that Netanyahu and Israel is working for regime change, and they want this IRGC to be completely finished, and they want the complete surrender of IRGC. So they are pushing the US for the ground invasion, or at least to seize the Kurg Island. But US is focused on regime crippling and focused on destroying the missile sites and the nuclear reactors. And they are also saying that they don't want a total power vacuum in Iran that would lead to a Syrian-style civil war. So this is the difference between regime crippling and regime change, and the difference of opinion on these two between US and Israel. Also, the IDF concern for Israel. The IDF chief of staff has warned that the military is dangerously overstretched, has warned the Israeli government that the military of Israel is dangerously overstretched. IDF also said that the IDF chief said that they are now busy on 3 active grounds: Gaza, Lebanon, and where they have moved 10 kilometers deep, and security zone in Syria, and also fighting in Iran. The Air Force has also depleted from 35 days of non-stop missions over Iran. Netanyahu recently attacked the Israeli media and opposition for a defeatist messaging. So basically, what is the problem going on here? That Netanyahu and the Israeli government is being criticized, kind of, or and they are being told that by IDF that the military is being overstretched, and they are fighting since 900 days, and the military needs rest, and they are now overstretched, and they are fighting at multiple fronts in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Iran, and now previously now in Gaza and also Iran. So they are overstretched. So this was what IDF told, and Netanyahu and Israeli government wasn't happy that this was information was leaked in the media and press. There's also a Patriot and supply crisis. The US is pressuring Israel to be more selective with its interceptors. The US is pressurizing Israel to be more selective with its interceptors, especially Arrow and David Sling, because I already told you that they intercept long range missiles, and because American stocks are already low, and European allies like Poland are refusing to send in more interceptors. So, and interceptors do take a year for the production. The IDF argues that they cannot be selective, while US is asking Israel to be selective in intercepting the incoming missiles. IDF argues that they cannot be selective in intercepting missiles when 100 plus missiles are flying towards Israel by different fronts from Lebanon and Yemen and Iran as well. So IDF argues that they cannot be selective when hundreds of missiles are flying towards Israel. This has created a supply line friction where the US is beginning to attach conditions now to how many munitions it ships to Israel each week. So this was basically the difference, not huge differences or issues between Israel and Iran. Israel and US, but still some arguments going on between US and Israel privately. That first they have differences over the regime crippling and regime change. They have also differences on being selective on intercepting the missiles because the stockpiles are low, and also that the intel which was provided to US, they are saying now that weren't accurate because regime change hasn't been achieved since 34th day of the war. Let's read your comments and let's see how many people have voted. Will Iran attack US tech companies at deadline is over? And 62% of the people, 271 people have voted, and 62% of the people say yes, Iran will definitely attack US tech companies, and 38% of the people say no, Iran will not attack the tech companies of US. Let me check your comments now, and I'll be happy to answer your comments. No new comments and no new questions, and request for that please do like the channel and do subscribe the channel as well, and do like the video as well, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do take part in the poll as well, and take part in the constructive discussion which is going on in the comments. And if you don't have any comments, it would be time to wrap this streaming, and we will return once we have more news for you. Let's wrap this up, and we will return once we have some more news to share with you. Please do subscribe the channel and like the video, and do share your thoughts as well.